praise the Lord, good morning. Systems are down, and so a little timer came up saying estimated time of system return is 30 minutes. I said, you know what, I'm just going to take me a 30-minute break then. And I logged on around 5:30, so I'll make up for it. I'm working 11, 12 hours anyway from home. I don't have all the resources and printers and systems that I would normally have, but I'm pretty close to it. I normally work with 3 monitors. I'm working with a split screen, so the focus really has to be there in order for the mistakes to be, few and far between. And people always ask me, man, why you work so long? And if I was you, well, you're not me, and I don't get paid by the complaint. My allergies eat me up. I get paid by the hour. And so this just in. Sometimes we come in contact with people with these allergies. Loved ones, relatives, friends, stranger danger. But what I've discovered is that most of the time, the person that looks like you will hurt you the most versus the person that don't look like you. Go get me a cup of coffee. And so, if you're wondering if that person gonna hurt you again, if they're gonna do it again, what comes after the number 1? 2. Ein, drei, zwei, vier, fünf, sechs, sieben, acht, neun, zehn. That's German. I mean, after 1 comes 2, and after 2 comes 3, but I want to speak on this if I may, or expound or expand on this if I possibly may. If you're feeling uneasy about a person that's going to disrespect you, guess what? They already have. You just waiting on it to happen again to see how you're going to take it or how you're going to respond. People hurt you on purpose often, and they don't hurt you by accident often. People hurt you on purpose often. I was talking to a dear friend of mine this morning, a childhood friend this morning. He's TD, man, I just love your attitude. And I said, bro, I don't have attitude anymore. I used to have an attitude. He said, yeah, you was something else. I said, you too. We used to run together. And he said, what do you have? I said, I have altitude. I try to rise above the fray. I try to be better on the inside. I don't try to be better than someone else because you have all the money in the world and be nastier than homemade sin. You can be pretty as heck in the face and be pretty ugly on the inside. You can be handsome but be tall, dark, and gruesome. As I leave this alone. So if you're wondering if that person gonna disrespect you on social media, gonna say something stupid, post something stupid, this what gets me when a person has something to say, but you don't know if they like the video or not. Not that you care, but a lot of people have a lot to say, but they don't have a lot to like. I had someone yesterday inbox me and say, hey, follow me, please. I'm like, follow you where? I don't even know you. Hey, please follow me. Okay, officer, as I leave this be. But if you think they're going to change, most of the time they're not. Wow, where did that hole come from? These Chicagoland streets. If you think they're going to disrespect you again, they are. If you think they're not going to calling you out your name, they're not. If you think that they're going to stop screaming at you, they may eventually when you're gone. See, sometimes stuff has a head start on us. When I was associate pastor at this local church in Waukegan, every time a new child came to my Sunday school class or joined the local church, I would race them behind the church. I would race them in a suit. Wow, these allergies, and dress shoes. And one Sunday, this little boy came. I'm not gonna say his name because he's a minor, and he had calf muscles like he had grapefruit in the back of his leg. I thought I had calf muscles at my age. I'm talking about this child was 9 or 10 years old. Little boy had grapefruit like Herschel Walker in the back of his calf muscles. So he's like, oh, Brother Davis, you gotta race him. You gotta race him. So we went behind the church, the local church, and I would give him a head start, and we would race to the edge of the parking lot, but it was grass on one side, parking lot on the other. And so, on your mark, get set, Jesus Christ, and we would take off running. And that's how I always do it. So this particular Sunday, I gave them the customary head start because they were itty bitty, shortest babies, and I was a full grown man and in pretty decent shape. Thank God, thank you, Father God, for my mental, emotional, physical, and psychological state, supernatural state too. And so when we took off, on your mark, get set, Jesus Christ, took off. Man, when that child took off, I knew I had to cheat. I already had in my mind, I said, when he took off, the way he dipped his head and dug into the planet Earth and pushed off his feet, them little feet and them calf muscles exploded in the back of his legs. And I gave him a head start. I saw like a W in the back of that child's legs. I promise you, and I think the W meant win. So I already decided in my mind, I said, I'm going to reach out and pull him back and win and give and buy everybody breakfast at McDonald's just so we can laugh about it. I kid you not. I went to reach for this child. It's like he went into another gear, and I fell. Oh, I fell. Broke my hand, ripped the lapel on my suit and the doggone. I mean, just tore the suit up, the jacket, and ripped the inner leg of the pants. And the children was leaning over me, laughing so hard, and I was in such pain, and I started laughing too. So sometimes things and people and mistreatment and evil and racism and bigotry, a horrible neighborhood or a dope-infested building or crime in a certain spot can get a head start on us. We gave it the head start, and we didn't realize how much of that head start we gave would end in us not being able to stamp it out, catch up with it, snuff it out, or just win as I leave this alone. So yes, I got some people on my mind that I'm gonna have to, they're gonna have to partake in me trimming my tree of life as well as my social media tree of life. And my dad used to say, dead plants don't eat, and trim that tree. And I've learned to rise above the fray. I learned to leave stuff alone. I got that from my mom, leave it alone. I learned that scab is an indication of healing. I don't pick and prod. But one thing for sure, when I pick up on you and your mess, I got my own mess. It's a me and mess, just like there's a mess and messenger. When I pick up on somebody else's mess, that you got the possibility, you have the anticipation, or watch this word, anticipability. Just make that word up. You have the probability, you have the perhaps in you of disrespecting or embarrassing me, or if you get this feeling from this person, nothing more than feelings, more than likely your feelings are right. They're gonna disrespect you. They're gonna say something, do something haphazard to you, something detrimental, something that could have been prevented if you have simply have left them alone as I leave this alone. Well, let me get my coffee and get back. I got about 18 minutes left. And I thank God for blessing me to expand if He is blessing me to do so. It's not about me. It's about Him. I don't care how much cologne or perfume you put on, a stinky attitude, you can always smell. Get you an altitude. Rise above the fray. Be better than you were on yesterday. I'm not better than nobody than me. I want to be better than I was on yesterday. I don't compete with nobody on nothing. I'm playing basketball. I'm having fun. I don't even compete no more. When I'm jogging, I don't even compete no more. When I used to box, I got to the point where I was just taking punches for free because I wasn't competing anymore as I leave this alone. But yes, beg God for discernment. Beg Him for intuition. Beg Him for supernatural radar. You'll never meet Him on his level, but I promise you, you will meet Him on His terms. God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. Guard your heart. Guard your mind. For out of it flows the issues of life. You need your heart and mind for yourself as I leave this alone. God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. Peace. One.